Hello everyone! Hello everyone! Hope everyone's doing well on this Tuesday afternoon. Today we are gonna do some of the daily races for a little while. See if we can make our way through the C ranking, or at the very least try and increase it a little bit. I know most people are going to be doing the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, it's a good track, but I really quite like Brands Hatch. So I'm going to do some racing at Brands Hatch, I think. Certainly for now. In a little bit we might go to Gilles Villeneuve, but it's not one of my best tracks. Let's get some qualifying in, get our eyes in on the track, see where we can go. If you join me, please say hi in the chat. Be nice to see who's about. So I'm using I've forgotten what car I'm using, to be fair. What car am I using? It's one of the ones that's supposed to be quite good for these tracks. Let's see. The Porsche 911 GTR. I quite like having the brake balance set mid to the rear, so about 3 to the rear. Helps me just get the car turned in for the corners. Not sure if that's necessarily the best way of having it, but it's what seems to work for me, so I usually have it around about there. If you've watched any of my streams before, you'll know that I'm not particularly good at the moment. I am working my way, just seeing what I can see if I can try and improve. I've only been racing for about a year, as I mentioned before. I've been playing games, racing games all my life, kind of Formula 1 style games on, PlayStations, Xboxes, all the way back to the old sort of Super Nintendo type really early racing games, the arcade sort of styles. But I've only ever been on control pad up until now, so have gone through and upgraded my kit a couple of times now. Mentioned a couple of times that I've gone through. I'm currently in the Thrustmaster ecosystem. So I started off with a T248 with the T3PM wheel pedals. It was a nice entry point, I think. I didn't get it brand new, got it refurbished off of eBay. It was a good price for what I got. So, and it's still going strong, but I've upgraded to a direct drive wheel just to get that little bit of extra immersion. Started on just a wheel stand. It's just a relatively cheap thing off of Amazon, but it did the job really well and I was really happy with it. But I decided that I wanted to upgrade a bit, and I've gone up to a folding cockpit, and I am now racing in the GT Omega Sprint cockpit, which can hold up to 9 Nm of torque, which I don't really need at the moment because I'm racing now with the Thrustmaster T598 wheel and the Raceline pedals. Feel free to let me know what you use, whether you're a control pad, whether you're a PC purist, or whether you're using a wheel. I just find there's nothing like the immersion from using a steering wheel. can get a lot more precision as well. Though I believe there are some extremely fast racers in Gran Turismo 7 that do use a control pad. You've got people in top splits of A+ lobbies, I believe, that use control pads, which just seems crazy to me. Hope everyone's doing alright wherever they are in the world. Here in the north of England it's not as sunny as it has been, but that's good for me. I don't like the heat too much. I don't do well in the heat. I like it a little bit cooler. I do like this Brands Hatch track. It's one of my favourite tracks. Bit of a snap on the wheel. Had a couple of races last night, and it was a bit of a mixed bag. I had one very good, very clean race at the beginning. I only did 3 races last night because it was quite late by the time I got on. First race started, I think it was 7th, finished 5th, clean race bonus. It was a good race with some nice clean racing. Second race I got pushed off the track pretty much 3rd corner. Never really recovered from that. And then the 3rd race, because I didn't want to finish on a downer. The 3rd race that I did, I started 8th. Had to avoid some very dirty drivers that were thinking that this was more like stock car rally than actual driving, but managed to work my way through and get up to 5th place. As you can see, I may not be the best driver, but I try and be fluid, I try and be clean. May not be the fastest out there, but you know what? I'm happy with the improvement that I've made. Dropped a couple of short videos on my channel. Today I've uploaded one showing the very small personalization modifications that I've made to my pedals. Nothing crazy, nothing absolutely groundbreaking. When I first got the pedals I didn't like the way my feet slid around on the face plates, so I've got some skateboard grip tape which I've stuck on and cut to size. So now when I'm racing them just in socks, nice and comfortable, but I've got a nice grip. My feet don't slide around at all. I'm finally just getting my entire setup, to the sort of place that I quite like. I'm currently using the OG rim for the 598 wheel. I was using the 488 Ferrari wheel add-on, but but I seem to be having some issues with it, so I've gone back to the original wheel to see whether the issues persist. I'm having problems with upshift every now and then. Sometimes it'll just stop shifting, so I'm trying to see whether it's an issue with the base or just that wheel. I'm just waiting for Thrustmaster to reply to the video that I've sent them. Hopefully they'll get back to me fairly soon with a suggestion of what I can do. Everything's up to date. I've done all the updates. When I reconnected the quick release for the wheel, I made sure that nothing was pinched and everything was clean, but still seems to be having the issue. There doesn't seem to be any real rhyme or reason as to when it happens. It just kind of happens whenever it feels like. So I'm hoping it's just the wheel, because then at the very least I can keep driving while I get that sent off for repair. If you're enjoying this sort of content, you enjoy watching Gran Turismo 7 specifically, there's a couple of YouTubers that you should definitely check out and follow if you don't already. Sammy Snake, Rory Alexander, Kireth, they all do some fantastic videos and some fantastic content. It's basically their full-time jobs. What is their full-time jobs? It's not the sort of thing that I'm going to be able to do. I'm not that kind of... I'm not going to be able to ever do this more than a little bit of a hobby. I don't have the patience for constant editing and uploading videos daily. So I think once a week, currently at the moment, once a week is I think is a nice setup for me during my days off from my regular day job. If you're watching me and you notice that I can do something better, or specifically if I'm making mistakes that regular mistakes and not just oh, he missed that apex, please let me know. I'm always trying to improve, and I would love to get some feedback from people with more experience than me. I do race pretty much weekly in an online league we're called ZFS Racing. If you want some nice clean racing, we are a UK based league, but you can join us from wherever you are in the world, so all of our races are on UK time. I know we race generally on a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday, and some Sundays. Lobbies generally open at 8 o'clock for the race at 9. We have a 10-minute qualifying, followed by a roughly 1 hour race. Let's see if I recognise any of these racers. No, I don't think I recognise any of those names. So the good thing about that is it means that if I've remembered their name, it's not necessarily a good thing, because I'm not good with remembering names. Oof, 14th. This is going to be a tough one. Let's see what we can do from 14th on the grid. I don't have a lot of confidence in this, but let's see. Let's hope that we can pick up some places from people's mistakes. Oh, that's one already. That's a good start. Let's go. Someone's going to try and come from the back. Not sure whether that's just cocky or them trying to set themselves up for a tough race. But let's see what we can do. We're about to get taken from behind, I think. I could have worded that better. We're not going to fight too hard with people who are going to try and overtake us, because at the end of the day, people are going to make mistakes like that. And that's 2 places we've made there. Something I've learnt from Rory Alexander's YouTube streaming is just be patient, pick up places from people who are fighting up ahead. Bit too much curb. I think. Oh, yep. Oh, that was not good. Well, that is my race. Not particularly going to go very well. This is not a great start, but hey ho. Who knows? I might be able to make up for something. It's one issue that I do have with the 598 is occasionally I do have, as you might be able to hear, some constant rumbling, which I'm hoping will sort itself out before too long, because that is not just the standard engine roar. I've got engine roar on low, so I'm hoping that whatever is causing this vibration is going to stop. Otherwise we're going to have to turn it off at the end of the race and reconnect it. because this is going to make my hands go numb. I thought initially it might have been because of the damage that I took on the car, but it would appear that it has just carried on from my little excursion to cut some grass. Seeing if we can fix this. I was hoping disconnecting the wheel and reconnecting it would make a difference, but that's done nothing. No, that's not made a difference at all. Well, this is not a good start to the stream, and it's not a very good advertisement for Thrustmaster. But I don't quit out of races unless I absolutely have to. So we will push through. This vibration is getting pretty bad. To admit, I'm having a lot more problems with this T598 wheel than I ever had with the T248. So it's, I know that a lot of people just turn around and say, well, you buy Thrustmaster, you get what you pay for. But I always never really had an issue with the T248. I just decided I wanted to upgrade to a direct drive for a bit more realism. But I don't know whether I'm starting to regret buying Thrustmaster instead of going to Fanatec. This is quite literally making my hands go numb. It's very odd because if I go on grass, the vibration stops. You would have thought it would be the complete opposite. Oh, that one was not the most fun you can have on a racetrack. Okay, let's turn this off and then reconnect it and hope that that makes some kind of a difference. Make sure that all of my cables are all connected correctly and fully, which they appear to be, so okay. Let's try this again. Because that was definitely not what we needed. Let's see what that's done to my driver rating. It's taken a little bit of a hit, not massive, fortunately, but enough. Let me know, guys, what your favourite tracks are. What your favourite combinations of tracks and cars. If you have any particular favourites, if you don't, that's also completely respectable. I'd also love to know what other games people play. I'm currently on my second playthrough of Jedi Survivor. I'm playing it on New Game Plus, which is quite interesting, going back and finding things that I didn't find on my first playthrough. Now we've got our eye in on the track, we'll see what we can pull out of the bag. That's actually not a bad time, that 127.9, that's already an increase. Let's see if we can make that even better. Get ourselves a bit further up the grid. Oh, not by doing that we won't. Just took a little bit too much of the curb. So now we've got no downforce currently, until that fixes itself. But even a 10th improvement is an improvement. Could be the difference between positions on the grid. Not the fastest route around those corners there. Let's see if I can make up a little bit this time. This time last year I couldn't even keep on the track here. It's not the easiest track in the world to drive. I'm not entirely sure what makes it so tricky, but you quite often see a lot of people going off in these corners, especially this final corner here. People seem to have issues with it and go straight on. Half a second increase, we'll accept that. We like that. That'll definitely bring us a little bit further up the grid. The further up the grid you are, I've discovered the cleaner the racing is, the less likely you are to get punted off on a corner. Not necessarily because you're faster than everyone else, but just because you're able to keep it a little bit better on the track, perhaps. Well, even this one wasn't an improvement, but it was faster than we were getting. So I'm happy with that. At the end of the day, any improvement is an improvement. Let's see what we can do from here. Let's see where we start on the grid. Let's see what we can do. Eighth. Oh, 125.8. That's a good time. It's nearly 2 seconds faster. Okay, so 8th on the grid. Let's see what we can do. Cross your fingers, wish me luck. All that good stuff. As Heath Ledger said, here we go. important thing is just to get around these first couple of corners. Once we've got around these, everyone starts to settle down. Nice clean start from most people here. Oh, that was a shame. That was just a racing incident, from what I could see there. A little bit of a nudge around the corner. Oh, that wasn't very nice of them. Whoops. Okay, hopefully, now that we've got the first lap out of the way, everyone will settle down a little bit. We're not going to fight too hard. We're just going to run our race. What happens. If people up ahead make mistakes, then we can obviously try and pick them off and just focus on not making mistakes itself. Another thing is to try and pay attention to these other drivers in front, because they are fighting tooth and nail. At the end of the day, if they're particularly aggressive, we don't really want to be fighting with them. We'll let them take each other out. Oh no. Took curb there where I didn't want to be taking curb. It's allowed Nino to come back on us. If he tries to take us up here, then we'll just let him past. I'm more interested in trying to increase my driver rating at the moment, which is just mean it's more about finishing 8th or above. Just let him past. Really should give that place back, but we're not gonna. Oh, there we go, allowing us through. That was very good of him. Not everyone would have done that. Oh yeah, I was expecting that fully. Saw that coming on the radar. Just let them go. the end of the day, we need to make up for that last race. And I don't particularly trust this Rick dub to be clean. I'm expecting to see one of those two spin in a moment. When I first started, I was all about trying to make up places at every possible opportunity, rather than allowing the opportunities to come to me. I'd try and force them, and I've realised that's not really gonna work. If I'm going to be fighting for a win, then I will fight, but if it means losing places, I'm just going to pick my battles and try not to do things like that and go on the grass and get dirty tyres. Just need to try and make sure that I don't go back into the clutches of Irish Banana there behind me. There we go, pulled out a little bit more. If we can keep in this position, I'm happy with the 6th place. Currently, anything that allows me to increase my DR, I'm happy with. And who knows, we've still got a lap to go. We may get a yellow flag in front of us. I recognise that name, Mezek. I've raced him before. He's quite a good fast racer, well, a good racer at least, and certainly clean. It's always nice when you come across people that you recognise for the right reasons. I think the 6th place is pretty much safe now, unless I do anything stupid on this corner, which I have done a couple of times. There we are. 6th place, that makes up nicely for that previous atrocious race that we had there. Could possibly have been a 4th place if we'd really fought that, but the likelihood is that I would have made some mistakes. And a clean race bonus at that. That's what we like to see. The prize money's nice, but I just like seeing that clean race sign. But as you can see, my sportsmanship rating can't improve. Something that I do pride myself in is my sportsmanship, and it is at the top end, and it can't get any better. so I'm happy with that. So the fastest on my time is I've got a 124.7. That's impressive to me. Where are we on the ranking board? Quite low, I should imagine. 10,400. Okay. Let's see if we can improve our qualifying again. Highly unlikely, but there's nothing stopping us trying. So we are trying to be a 127.5. Which for me isn't the worst. Puts me almost halfway up the grid. Or at least it did in the last one. Not by doing that, we won't. Or by doing that. Problem with that is that messes up 2 laps. I have to admit I am quite tired today. I didn't sleep overly well. But let's not use that as an excuse. Especially as I have improved my qualifying for the time that I set yesterday. Oh, we are improving. Over a second up. Ah, that was... no, that was over a second up from what my previous lap was. Not my best, of course. Like I said, I'm tired. Doesn't take much to improve from a 1:30 around Brands Hatch. We're needing Just over a second improvement currently, which is not going to happen on this lap. We may get another lap, but I'm not entirely certain. Remember guys, track limits are there to be used. Just ask Kimi Antonelli. Yeah, this is not a good lap either. That was not good. We can't be doing that in the race. Let's see where we are in this one. Sixth. That's not a bad position. Let's see if there's any names we recognise. No. Certainly no one I recognise at the moment. There's TB from the last one. Other than that, let's go. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Let's go. sure who was at fault there. I wasn't paying quite enough attention to the battle in front of me. I get a feeling that Dazzle was at fault, but let's let this person past. Come on. You got work for it at least. Am I going to get away with that? Was that a bit too much? Now that's not right. That's what you get. That's really annoying when that happens, because there's absolutely no need. I don't see the point in wrecking other people's races just because, let's call a spade, because you're a dick. Let's see if we can catch up to him. I'm not sure we're going to, but hopefully he will come a cropper himself. Might pick a fight with the wrong person. Just like up here, that's just... why? What's the point in the dirty driving? It just shows that you can't drive, and that Gran Turismo is not necessarily the right game for you. Oh, that's put us in an awkward position. Sorry, that was not intentional. I was totally blocked in. Oh, you'd hate to see it. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. little bit too much of the grass. Yeah, let's apologise to him for that. So yeah, that's the second race wrecked today. But that mistake was mine. I took way too much grass there. It's a shame, but hey ho, it happens. Happens to the best of us. I wish that Gran Turismo was a bit more selective when it came to its lobbies. You seem to be able to get people who enjoy clean racing in the exact same lobby as people who don't, and all they want to do is trash other people's races. Maybe they should have more tiers for their sportsmanship rating. Have some elite tiers perhaps. I don't think we want to end the day on this race. I think we're going to do one more after this. And after everything that F1 guy did, he's still finishing in 12th. Just shows that being a dirty driver doesn't work. How does that happen? How does his sportsmanship rating stay at S when you watch some of the crap that he was doing in that race? That's pathetic. That really annoys me when that happens. You cannot tell me he is S tier sportsman. Okay. So we need a 1.3 second increase from the last lap to improve on my overall. Not sure that's going to happen today. But we have improved, so that's a good start. That's definitely not going to help us. Not sure what was going on there, but the car did not want to stay going in a straight line. Yeah, that's messed that up. Just had to turn my wheel off because my steering wheel decided it was going to start turning to the right and not stop. So that's also not a great indicator. Can't even blame it on the heat because I've got a couple of fans blowing directly onto the base, keeping the base cool. So we're going to make this the last one of the day. Let's see what we can do from 6th. Let's go. The aim on this one is just to keep it clean. Stay off the grass too much. And just see if we can claw back a little bit of that driver rating that we've lost today. No, we're not going to fight this guy. Not going to let him past, but I'm not going to fight him. There's a nice little pass there. That's what happens when you pick your battles rather than forcing it. Sometimes it just comes to you. Now that's lost me a number of places because someone didn't want to wait. And that's what happens. You get too fast into a corner, you don't make the next one. Nope, that's not great. Just let this guy pass, because we're not going to keep that from there. And we'll just try and come back at him. This guy behind me is getting quite impatient. It's always tricky when you're having to keep such a close eye on your radar. Not sure where I got that track limits from. Because I'm having to keep such a close eye on my radar from these people behind me. getting slip. See if we can't do something about that. If we can't come back at him, 6th place will do. At the end of the day, it's where we started. Something's happened up ahead of us. Unfortunately, I didn't slow them down enough for us to capitalise on it, but never mind. And my wheel has gone stupid again, and that's just cost me a good finish. That is so annoying. Thrustmaster, sort yourselves out. That's made me angry. Because now the wheel just doesn't want to stay in one position. That's cost me 4 places and driver rating. We were having such a good race there as well. Comparatively speaking. It's so frustrating. Well, thanks for joining me if you have done today. Remember, keep it clean, keep it safe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.